We're back once again on the Extra channel, and today for me is a pretty exciting day because we're going to pick the BMW E36 up. Now, if you haven't watched the main channel video, I recently got the BMW back on the road after it was abandoned and just left in someone's garden for literally nearly 8 years now, and the other day it finally passed its MOT after a first attempt of trying to get it there after redoing all the suspension, the arms and bushes and everything. I drove it to the MOT station and it actually broke down and overheated. So we had to go back to the drawing board, change a load of things, and eventually we got it to pass its MOT and it is now on the road again. It's insured, taxed, and it has a valid MOT. So we're heading up to Sheffield to go and pick it up. The reason it's up there is simply because for the work that it needed, it had been pretty awkward and pretty difficult to do it on the driveway. So we did it up at Reg Plate King with Will, and we got it back on the road there. And of course, I've been going up and down from Sheffield in the touring, in the daily, and I've not been able to bring the E36 back. Not much of an update really on the touring at the moment, except someone did drive into it the other day. I was actually in a car park, and fair play to the person because they did stay around to tell me, but someone has properly caught that bumper, and they just bank transferred me some money to cover the cost. They just literally bank transferred me 250 quid, and I haven't bothered to sort it because this is the reason I decided to go with an older car, because stuff like that doesn't really matter. So that's the plan. I'm hoping that the E36 makes it back all in one piece. It made it to and from the MOT station absolutely fine, but we're going to be taking it on the motorway, which I'm a little bit nervous about because I've never really driven that car properly before, and sitting at 70 on a motorway for at least I think about 10-15 miles is going to proper put it through its paces. So before we go, this is obviously going to be the pit car, the breakdown car, the recovery car, and the car that we can rely on in case that does break down. So before we go, I'm going to quickly scan it through with Carly, and I want to activate some of the hidden features with this car because it's lacking potential and you can unlock them with Carly. Let me show you. If you haven't already heard of Carly, this is what it is. It is a tiny little OBD device that has manufacturer level diagnostics, and you can also view live data and code and decode things in and out of your car that might not have came from the factory. So all you've got to do to use it is find your OBD port and simply plug it in. Then you just need to download the app on your phone, launch it, and simply connect it to your car. And now it's going to scan through every single control module that is on your car to figure out what it can code, what it can diagnose, and what else it can offer you. Okay, here we go. We've got diagnostics. Now I'm going to run my car through a scan, which has very fortunately come back all good with no issues found. So I can definitely rely on this thing to go and pick the E36 up. But what I want to do is unlock a couple of hidden features within this car. So I'm going to make a backup of the original data that is on this car. So if I mess anything up, I can just revert it back to its original settings all through my mobile phone with the Carly app. Now there's a couple of things that I want to do and unlock on this BMW. I want to turn off the beeping for the passenger seat when they've not got the seatbelt on, because when I've got my camera bag on the seat and it's pinging off, obviously it thinks it's a human, so I want to be able to turn that off. I can leave it on for the driver's side, but for the passenger side I really don't need it. Another thing I want to do is actually turn on the digital display for the speedometer, because at the moment it's all analog, but there is a way on these cars that you can actually turn it on so it shows you a digital speedometer to the exact mile. So all I'm going to do with Carly is, as you can see there, it says digital speedometer. I'm going to simply turn that on, and all I have to do then is simply click code anyway. And there we go, it's just done its own little reboot and it says coding was successful. So now I should now have the digital speedometer unlocked. As you can see there, it'll actually tell me what I'm doing in miles per hour. Perfect. And then on the module for all of the seatbelt warnings, I have simply turned seatbelt warning off, seatbelt reminder for the driver's side is on, and seatbelt reminder for the passenger side is off. So now I won't get a horrible beeping noise when my camera bag is on that passenger seat. And they are just a few of the things that you can do with a Carly device. So what I'll do is I'll leave the link down below in the description for you to go and grab one of these for yourself. And you can also use the discount code on the screen to get 15% off, and you'll thank me later, because these things can be an absolute lifesaver. Right, I think the touring is ready. Let's go pick up the E36. Here we go. Today's the day we bring it home. Maiden voyage. Let's just hope it makes it. I mean, mechanically it seems okay. What we've done seems okay. There's no horrible sounds coming from it or anything like that. My only worry is the gearbox and the diff, because I haven't changed the oil. And that fuel gauge is well wrong. That was empty a second ago. Wait. Oh God. Here we go. The BMW, hopefully in about an hour, is going to end up back on the driveway. After all that, man, it's back on the road. I'm excited. We just need to get modifying it now, so I can get the alignment sorted and loads of bits done on it, so it's properly ready for like a track day, really, because that's kind of the next step for this car, is bucket seats, get as much done as I can, ready for a good track day. That's the next test for this thing. So first we've got to get it home, so let's see. Here we go. I mean, it got to the MOT centre and back absolutely fine, so I don't see why it shouldn't now. But I've said it now, haven't I? I've literally said it. I'm just looking forward to being able to properly like test it on some back roads and get a feel for the E36 chassis, because everyone says such good things about the E36s, and if you go to the Nürburgring, that's quite literally all you see is these flying around with the big spoilers on that I've put on. And that's kind of what's inspired me to do this build. How I'm going to do it is just the ones that you see at the Nürburgring. But whew, let's get it home. This roof is all saggy and horrible. I don't like saggy and horrible things, so we need to do something with that, whether I just take it out or what. I don't know how far to go with this. It's like started off wanting to do it club sport, but then I'm like, do I want to make it proper track where it's kind of like not even friendly to use on the road? I don't actually know. I get a lot of people saying, oh, you're ruining an E36, but this thing was pretty much ready for the scrapyard, so it's better that I'm doing it to one that's cost me 300 quid and was pretty much ruined structurally and mechanically and everything, than buying a pretty good one and then doing that. So I feel like with this, there's a little bit of free will with it because of how bad it was when I got it. The alignment's so far out, it's actually not even funny. But the steering wheel's almost straight. I can just feel that the rear wheels are kind of pushing against each other. It don't feel great at all. But we're not smoking. As far as now, we're not overeating. I've said everything now to jinx it, and I just need some fuel. After this drive, the engine shouldn't be as like tappy / ticky. I'm hoping the oil gets round the top of the engine and properly lubricates it all, because obviously where it's been sat, it's just kind of dried up at the top of the engine and it sounds very tappy, very ticky, and it just, yeah, it's not nice. So I'm hoping the more we drive it, the less that kind of, the more that goes away, if that makes sense. Right, let's get some fuel and then we can carry on. There we go. That's the first time this has been to a petrol station in 8 years, and it's Morrison's, which I'm not proud of, but we move. Where's he going? Let's go. That's it now. We've got fuel. We've got everything we need to get home. We're not overeating either. Come on. Come on, BMW. Oh my God, there's a motorbike behind me. I thought my engine was dying. I actually thought the engine was dying. It's a motorbike behind me. It's like one of them old kind of style bikes. Oh, quick. It's like one of them old kind of bikes that sounds really like misfirey. I thought it was this starting to go. Oh, panic over. It actually goes through the gears pretty nice, to be honest. Definitely needs a smaller steering wheel. This steering wheel just feels way too boaty and bus-like. Yeah, it definitely needs a smaller steering wheel, but that's all to come. We've got all the modifications to come for this car. Well, we've been driving a good 15 minutes now. We're still at temperature. So far, so good. But we're about to come up to the motorway where I'm a little bit nervous for it, because even though I did double check every single bolt, there's always just that little bit in the back of your mind that, what if I didn't tighten this bolt? What if I didn't tighten that bolt? And if it goes wrong on the motorway, it's going to be pretty major. But I guess it's a great first test for this car, and if it makes it home all good with no issues, that just gives me even more motivation to keep building this car, because now we're at the start of the actual build. We've just finished getting it back on the road, and now we can actually start to build it, which is the bit I'm looking forward to most. So yeah, let's see if it can do the motorway, man. I don't see why it wouldn't, but obviously any car sat at 70 mile an hour for a good 30 minutes is probably going to test it, so we'll see. Definitely needs a short shifter as well, like a proper kind of shifter mechanism. It being down here is just no good. Needs to be up here, proper notchy shifter. But here we go, we're about to head on the motorway. Come on, Beamer. Definitely still got some poke in it. Definitely still don't feel slow at all. Right, here we go, 60 mile an hour. Let's see if it makes it. You know what, we're at 70 mile an hour. There's not even like a shake in the steering wheel. Like, I can't believe how far this car's come, man. Like, I know it does come across a little bit on the videos, but seeing the state of this thing, the way it arrived on the trailer, and it now being on the M1, what a story, man. What a story. You know what? I've ordered a 5-speed gear knob, and I've got a feeling this is 6-speed. Shall I? No, it's definitely 5-speed. It's definitely 5-speed. We've covered 12 miles so far. What a turn of events, man. If I'm honest, I genuinely thought something was going to go wrong. Like, I thought, it's been off the road way too long now for it to all be good. But we're still sat at 70, and it's spot on. I'm buzzing to get started with this thing, man. It's the difference, because if you have watched the channel for a while, you'd know about my blue Honda Civic Coupe. Now, that's obviously had an engine swap, but I built the engine up in my dad's garage, but the build got done at Motion Motorsport. With this, I want to do the build myself, and there's a different sense of reward with both of them. The Civic's done to a lot higher standard. It's a lot more prim and proper, whereas this, because I'm doing it myself, it'll be a little bit more rough and ready, but that will mean that I'll be able to go out and enjoy it and not fear crashing it. I'm talking about on track. Not fear crashing it and damaging it or anything like that. And that's why I'll appreciate this car. I appreciate my Civic because of how it looks, how the engine bay is. They're a complete different kind of two sides to appreciation. I'll happily be able to push this to its limits and find out those limits, where I've never really wanted to push my Civic to the limits in case I find that limit the hard way. So that's why I'm really looking forward to this one, because it's all done by pretty much myself. Obviously shout out Will from Reg Plate King for helping me, but it's a different kind of appreciation with this one. Yeah, every time I've been to the Nürburgring, I've seen people flying around in all these cars, and although I've built my blue Civic to do that, the money and the fact that I'd probably never be able to find another blue Civic Coupe, it kind of makes that car priceless to me. It's a little bit irreplaceable. These are becoming rare now, but with how cheap I got it, it wouldn't matter. And all I've wanted to do when I've been at the Nürburgring is proper push the car and test the limits and proper try and like set kind of lap times and stuff like that. And I just don't want to do that in my blue car, man. I just don't. It's not worth the risk to me, whereas this is worth the risk because I've done it myself, if that makes sense. I think you know what I mean, but yeah, that's why I'm looking forward to this one so much, because I can properly enjoy it for a track car, if that makes sense. And I just can't wait, man. 17 miles we've now covered, and we're still at temperature. I definitely think we've got the coolant thing working now, definitely, because it 100% should have overheated, and it isn't, which is so good. I think it's going to make it. We're coming off the motorway in, I think, about 2 miles, and then we're on a dual carriageway for another 10 miles, and then we should be back to the driveway, man, and it should make it. I don't see why it shouldn't make it. It actually should make it. Well, that's it. We're coming off the motorway and it's made it. Good old car. It's actually made it. Good 10 miles that was of sat at 70 mile an hour, and it's spot on. You're probably all thinking, well, obviously it's going to do that, but like I say, when you've done it yourself and you've built it yourself, you kind of think, oh, is it going to make it? Isn't it going to make it? Oh, we've got an E92 M3 behind us as well. As if. Yeah, there's always that little doubt in the back of your head that something's going to go wrong, but she's doing me proud so far. She's actually doing me proud. Actually handles really good, even though we're on the stock suspension. It handles good. Still got its power there. I'm feeling more confident now we're getting closer to home that I can that I can put my foot down and start proper testing the waters, but I don't want to push it. It's not grinding in any gears. It's not making no horrible like wheel bearing noises or anything like that. As of now, it's pretty spot on. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised. There we go. The BMW E36 project is now fully road legal, back on the road after nearly 8 years, and it has made it back to the driveway. But all things aren't quite so good. I think there's a little bit of an issue, and I'm hoping to quickly dive into it and actually see if I can figure it out. Let me show you what it is. Now, the good news is the engine, I don't know if you watched the main channel video or not, the engine was very, very tappy and ticky. That's because it's not been driven in so long, and the top of the engine didn't really get much lubrication. With us driving it back for about an hour, the engine sounds really, really good, and I'll demonstrate that now. But there's another problem with the engine. There we go. That I think needs sorting, and I'm going to try and see if I can figure it out. Okay, let me turn it on. As you can hear, the engine now sounds really good. Like, that sounds really healthy. I'm really, really happy with how that sounds. It doesn't sound horribly ticky anymore. It just ticks over nice. But once it's come off its cold start, I'll show you what the problem is. I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but I can hear a slight little misfire, and I thought I could hear it through the exhaust. But maybe I don't know, maybe it's me. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if these engines do just run like that or not, but I don't know. Just to make sure, I'm going to scan it through the OBD port. Now, I've upgraded my scan tool, and it didn't actually come with the 20-pin connector. Now, these cars don't have an OBD2 port, and I found out that it was after 2001 in the UK that cars had to have an OBD port. in the United States it was after 1996, so that's why this car doesn't have an OBD port, but if it was American it would. So we have to diagnose it through this kind of pin here. Luckily I've bought one of these off Amazon, so I can plug any diagnostic machine into it. So I'm going to plug that into there, and then I can plug my scan tool into here. Boom. There we go. That works. Okay, let's see if this car's got enough control modules to actually know if it's misfiring or not. There's no lights on the dashboard, but from where I'm sat, yeah, it's getting worse. I can definitely hear it misfiring. Sorry, but yeah, it's 100% misfiring. Right, let's have a look. Let's see what this says. Okay, let's click diagnose, control unit, and I want the engine control module, which is this one. Just want to see if there's any fault codes actually coming up. Very interested to see if there is. Oh, okay. So we've got a 00203 code, which is O2 sensor control limit, cylinder 4 to 6. That's quite interesting, actually. So there is actually a fault code stored in this car. Now, if I erase that code, will the misfiring go away? Yeah. Yeah, it's actually stopped running lumpy. Okay, so we do have, let me read that code again now, because the misfiring's gone away. Yeah, no fault codes detected. That's interesting. That is very interesting. So there's definitely an issue there, and I'll just have to, I'll search that fault code. Yeah, look, engine control module now has no fault codes. Let me give it a few revs and just see if I can start to feel that lumpiness come back, because that is definitely feeling very misfire-ish. Okay, so as far as this, we've got a bit of a fault code with the O2 sensor, so we've got to do a little bit of digging. Right, I can actually feel that the misfiring has come back. So if that fault code has come back on, then it's just definitely an O2 sensor problem. Yeah, that's come straight back on. Okay, that's okay. We've got a, I think that is a bank 2 fault code. A 202 O2 bank 1, and the 203 is O2 bank 2, and the one we've got is 203. So it is the secondary O2 sensor according to what this is saying. Let's see what the symptoms are. Let's have a look. Cutting out, well, we've not got that. Not idling very well. When accelerating, it's very jerky. Now that's, I don't think we've got the accelerating version of it. It might be just really early signs, but yeah, car shakes when stopped, rough idling. That is definitely what we've got. Now, before I go ahead and order a O2 sensor, it could be a couple of things. There could be a vacuum leak somewhere that is causing that O2 sensor to flag up as a fault. If it's getting too rich or too lean, the O2 sensors have a threshold where they can send information to the ECU to correct that. And if it goes over that threshold one way or another, that's where it will throw up the engine light. So for example, if we had a massive air leak in this intake pipe here, obviously that's after the MAF sensor. So the MAF sensor wouldn't flag a fault, but going into the engine and out the exhaust, that's where the O2 sensor would flag the fault. So I think to pretty much eliminate everything but the O2 sensor, we should just do a smoke test on the engine just to see if we've got any vacuum leaks or intake leaks anywhere. You never know, there could be a crack somewhere in the inlet manifold and we just can't see it. So I'm going to take off this MAF sensor. I'm going to plug the, well, we're going to put the smoke tester thingy-majiggy in here, run it through and just see if we can find any vacuum leaks. Okay, so we've got the smoke tester hooked up, and basically what this does is what it says on the tin. It basically produces vapor using baby oil. Actually, you fill this with baby oil and it produces smoke, and you put it in the intakes, and wherever the smoke comes out of, it's almost visible air. Actually quite a handy bit of kit to have, this, because you never know when you might need one. I've used it plenty of times now, but yeah, let me connect it to this little device through this pipe work here, and then we can start doing the test and start pumping it up. And what I want to do is pump it until smoke stops coming out of the inlet pipe. Just like that. That's now created a perfect seal. So, ooh, interesting. We've got smoke coming out of the rocker cover. Wait, what? We've got smoke coming from under here. That is interesting. This could 100% be the problem. Yeah, that's coming from behind these two coils. So let me take them out and I'll just see if I can see anything going on. Right, that's that out, and that's that one out. Where is that smoke actually coming from? That's the question. Wait. Is that bolt there? Wait, what? Have I forgotten to tighten this bolt? No. So it's coming out of this bolt here. What? I have no clue what is going on there, but if I just touch it, it's definitely coming out of this hole here. And I don't know why. Have I put it in wrong or something? I don't actually know, because I did the rocker cover on this. I've took the top of the bolt out, but it's seeping out from around that bolt. Let me see if I can undo that and get it out. I just don't get why that's leaking. That's so weird. Gonna have to get a smaller 10mm on that, but this very easily might be the problem, in all fairness, because that's definitely air escaping. I've figured it out. I have figured it out. So I've just took apart this one down here, and it's at the point where that one is. Now, obviously, this stud is a little bit different to this one, because this one goes in here, and the reason it's like that and it's got a male point on it is because you've got an earth cable here to go on it. So that's absolutely fine. Now, what I've actually took off is this. This is like a rubber seal that goes on and around that little kind of, whatever you'd call it. You know what I'm trying to say? It kind of makes a seal around where that bolt would go. If you look at this one, I'm missing the seal. And there's also a kind of silver washer that's meant to sit on there, that the bolt kind of pushes evenly down on that seal. So we might not have an O2 sensor problem. It might just be the fact that I have either lost, or this car never had and I didn't realise the seal. As you can see there, that will sit on top of there and go around the bolt. So if I was to put this on that hole, that one would stop leaking, but then this one would start leaking. So I need to go on eBay or Amazon or wherever and try and order these seals, and that might actually fix the misfire kind of issue, because it could just be leaking a little bit of air out of the rocker cover, causing it to run lumpy. So the next stop is to order one of them. Okay, so just to test my theory, I've stolen the washer and the rubber little grommet thing and put it into these holes, because obviously when I order it and it arrives, it's just easy to quickly put it in there instead of taking the coil pack out again. So what I want to now figure out is if air comes out of there and doesn't come out of there, then I know that it is just that rubber seal thing and I don't have to worry, I can just order it and fit it. So I think it's just about, yeah, it's just about leaking out of there. In fact, you can actually see it better on video than you can in, oh, there we go. It's starting to come through now. Okay, that's good. It's no longer leaking out the middle, so I can order the little rubber seal, and that might be that problem solved. It'll be nice if it is, because that was leaking quite a lot of air. So yeah, we'll just order that and see. Okay, so it is now the next day and I've come to BMW Stratstone because apparently, and shout out to Jordan at Motor Parts Direct, he's told me that they actually have the little rubber seals in stock. So he's given me a part number that I can go and ask them if they've got them in stock. So I've got the number for the rubber seal and the number for the little O-ring kind of, what's it called, washer. So hopefully we can get them both. Let's go have a look. Yeah. They actually had one. I can't believe they still keep stock of these, but that is what I need. That's crazy. Big shout out to BMW, to be fair, really helpful. And massive shout out to Jordan in MPD for finding out that BMW actually still stock them, because I'd have never even, I don't know why, I'd have never even thought to check the main dealer, because I just thought there'd be a discontinued part. But yeah, we've got the part, we can go back now and get it installed. The only thing they don't have is the actual metal washer that goes on top of that little rubber seal, but I'm pretty sure I can probably find a washer that I've got spare. If not, they can order them in, but they'll arrive Monday, so it's not the end of the world. Right, let's go back and let's get it installed. Okay, I think when I did the rocker cover, I must have lost this rubber part. The reason I think that is because I looked in my box of bits and I found this washer which matches up perfectly to that bolt. Like you see what I mean? And then you put it through and it matches perfectly to that rubber seal thing. I think I must have just lost it. So this now just bolts to the top of the engine here, and then it creates a seal and hopefully stops it from leaking out. But what I think we should do is put it on, tighten it down, and then do another smoke test. Hello! Do another smoke test to see if it's coming out of it anywhere else. If it isn't, I'm hoping that should be that O2 sensor fault sorted, and if it isn't, then maybe I'll just have to buy an O2 sensor. But let me quickly tighten this. Look at that. Boom. That's nice and tight now. That's definitely the same washer. Look, it's exactly the same as all the others. Cool. I don't actually need to order that now from BMW. So that's that taken care of. Let's do another smoke test. Well, it's definitely not coming out of that hole that was there, and it's definitely not coming out of that one, which is good. That's that problem solved. Well, at least I think it might be. I guess I'll have to drive it and find out. I hope that fixes it. Again, if it doesn't, then it may be that O2 sensor, but if all that air was getting out of that hole that quickly, then it was definitely losing power because of that leak. So now that's fixed, I'm hoping that the O2 sensor reads the air properly, because if the air leaks after the MAF sensor, then obviously it's not going to clock it, and then yeah, I think that could have been it. I do think that could have been it. I'll turn it on in a minute and I'll see if it misfires again. Let's give it a go. Cool. come on, if this has worked, then happy days. I've fixed the problem for £1.79, I think that part in BMW was. So I'll be very happy if it has. Let's give it a go. I'll let it idle for a bit. As of now, it's definitely not misfiring. It's running very nice, so that's just the valves on the exhaust. Let me get the scan tool, I'll scan it through again and see what comes back. At this point, it would have definitely started to run lumpy and misfire a little bit. And right now, it's actually running really, really good. So, I think that's fixed. I'll scan it through, see if the fault code's there or not. But, from my kind of perspective, that seems pretty smooth the way that's running now. The engine's not vibrating around or moving around. Pretty smooth. Right, that's just scanning through, but listen to how smooth the engine's running now. The exhaust used to be like moving around and vibrating. Now it is perfect. Yeah, I'm saying that's fixed 100%. It is absolutely throwing it down, but I'm going to say that's fixed. Still scanning through. It takes a while on these cars because they're so old. Normally this literally flies through every single car, but this one it takes a little bit. Let's see. I don't think it's came back because we're already getting up to temperatures. The car's getting warm and there's no misfiring. It'd be okay on cold start, and then as soon as it came off cold start, it'd run really, really rough. So yeah, I'm saying it's fixed. Right, let's see. Diagnosis, auto scan. Come on, please. Oh, really? I might have not have cleared it from last time, actually. Hold on. Please tell me it's not a current code. Doesn't actually say. It doesn't actually say. What I am going to do is erase that code, because maybe I just hadn't erased it from before. I'm going to read the code again. No fault code detected. Okay, that has now passed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come out of the engine completely, and I'm just going to turn it on and off. I mean, I can already tell physically that it's not misfiring and running lumpy now, so I'm going to turn it off, back on, and I'm just going to rescan it again. There we go. I think that is definitely fixed. And now there is literally nothing stopping us from cracking on with the modifications on this car, which is going to be the next video on the main channel. The shed is full to the brim of brand new parts for this car, and I actually can't wait to film that video and to get all the parts installed. So with that being said, I hope you did enjoy another extra channel video. The Beamer is now ready. I'll see you in the next one.